Hi, it's Bobbie from Fifth Avenue Cakes, and today we're going to design a sweet pea cookie. So let's begin. Alright, so the first thing you need to do for your sweet pea cookie is you want to start with a number 2. I'm working with a number 2 PME tip, and as you can see, I normally work with a parchment cone. Today I have a couple in a bag, and that's because I'm going to be switching out my tips. I'm going to make the vine for my sweet pea. So I'm using rub down soft royal icing. You just want to place it in your cookie right about there, or however you think will look good. And then I like to put my sweet peas on and bring my vines back in rather than be told where my sweet peas are going to go. So we're going to do a couple sweet peas on the bottom. I'm going to show you how to do that. So I want to place my sweet peas on and then add my vine. So I'm using a 59 PME tip, and I'm using stiff consistency royal icing, freshly beaten. And with my tip laying down, I'm going to make a U shape that almost closes. Release pressure as you come down. And then you want to go back in and make a smaller U shape. This is a very simple flower, very fast. Release pressure. And then almost straight up, you want your tip. You're going to make 2 little petals that stand up. And I'm just going to bring that down just a smidge. We're going to put a calyx on, so I'm not too worried. And then I'll put another one right here. So I'm going to show you again. So you want your tip flat against your cookie or your cake, and you just want to make a nice U shape coming towards that vine. I need to turn that a little more for me. And then an inside smaller U shape. Release your pressure as you come down. And then 2 just little petals right inside. And then I'll put another one right here going over my vine. So, and this one's going to be my bigger sweet pea. So you're going to make a bigger U or an N, whatever you think that shape is. And then 2 little petals. I'm just going to tuck this in, kind of clean it up a little teeny bit, give it a little bit of movement, let it lay how I want. And then I bring some buds out this way. And to make the sweet pea bud, you just make your U quite small, almost closed, and put 1 little petal inside. So depending on how many, whether you want them to be opening buds or you want them to be closed buds or flowers that have just started opening, it's how big you're going to make your U. And that one's just kind of opening. I'm going to put a tiny little bud here. And what I'm going to do for that is just pretty much do a petal and a petal, like that. And then, I think that's good. We might add more, but I think that's good. Then we're going to bring our vines out. You want to think about this because I'm going to add a little bulb on here so I know I'm going to put the calyx there. Because you're going to be switching tips. You don't want to have to go back and forth. If you find that you forgot something and you need to go back to your number 2 tip, wet a damp rag or a paper towel and you can put your tip in there. I don't like quite the way this vine is sitting, so I'm just going to scooch it a little bit, give it a little bit of movement. Maybe scooch it this way. So it's not quite touching my petals and it has some movement. It's a little bit more natural. There we go. Alright, so now I'm going to switch tips. Oh, I forgot to put, see, now that's what I'm talking about. I forgot to put a little teeny vine right here because he was so close. Okay. I'm going to switch my tips. I'm going to place my number 2 tip in the damp rag in case I forget something else. And I'm going to grab my petal tip. Actually, I'm going to do that last. I'm going to grab my number 1 tip. We're going to do the calyx last because I'm going to use my leaf tip to make the braid border. So now we're just going to add some curly cubes to give it a little bit of an oomph. So you want to pipe out with a number 1, just kind of curl around, bring it up with an E motion, release pressure. Oh, I'm going to take him off. I don't know what I was doing there. Okay. We're going to go back there. You just want to bring out your line, your vine, and do a nice little curly cube, just to give it a little bit of interesting look. And you could do this on a cake or a cupcake. And this one I'm just going to curl like that. Stand up look. And I'm going to bring one more out this way. Or not. Lift him up and put in another one. Okay, now we're going to take out our number 1 tip. And since I'm using the same consistency and the same color, it'd be silly for me to make up a bunch of different bags. And now we're going to add on the calyxes and some leaves. So to add on the calyx, I'm using an ST50, which is a pretty small leaf tip, and I'm just going to add on a calyx with making pressure and then releasing it as I come up. You want to do that to all of them, the buds included. The buds you might want to come up just a tad higher, so you don't want to let go of that pressure until you get up a little bit higher, like right about there. And since this is my smallest bud, I'm going to go right where I did the hip. Seems that my bun got in the way. And now we're going to add some leaves on. So the same way you did your calyxes. This time I'm going to pump them with constant pressure until I get the size that I want and release. And I'll do it again to the other side. And I had a request to show the work before I go on, so this is what it looks like. And now I'm going to show you a fun little border that I like to do, and it's similar to a rope border, except you're going to use your leaf tip. You want to come in with an S shape. Sorry, I'm shaking today. I don't know what's going on with me. And then the important part is to tuck this under, bring it over, and come around so it looks like a braid. Right now we're trying to make a braid. So our rope shape looks more like a braid than it does a rope. And it's just something fun to be a little bit different. So I'm going to continue doing my border, and I'll see you when I finish. I realized that you couldn't see what I was doing before because I was going over the cookie. So I'm going to show you. You want to tuck in your tip in the hump of your S, come over, release pressure, come down. Then tuck it in where that last tail was, come over, and release. So it's just an S shape. It's just, sorry, I got distracted there. Sorry about that. It's just an S shape, so you're going to tuck your tip in and come over and come down. So you're making a typical rope, but because we're using this leaf tip, it looks more like a braid. I just thought it was perfect for this cute little flower cookie. Keep the pressure constant and the same, and the length of each of your S inverted S's the same. And when you get to the end, you're just going to tuck in that last one. So you can't see it. It just looks like it's continuing. So you're going to grab your damp brush and tuck in your edges. So there is your little sweet pea cookie. So in a matter of 10 minutes, we have a beautiful cookie that would look awesome on a table or as a gift or a treat. See you next time.